hey girl, did we go to school together? I could have sworn we had chemistry. That's so corny.
Okay. What's up, Victory? Hope y'all are doing well. I am here with my brother, and we are the men of Midtown. Pastor Erskine and Pastor Jamal here,
Yes,
and we are going to have a conversation, which is single life with men. So I'm gonna get you with the first question, sir. How did purity culture affect you personally?
Well, I got to ask you a question. Sorry,
Okay.
I don't like answering questions.
Okay, do
with
your thing,
questions,
do your
but
thing.
What is purity culture? Because I've never even really heard that term before.
Okay, and I will say I haven't either.
Okay.
So I'll say this. What were you in the church? Did you go to church?
I did, of course.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
You're not just a kid that was just wilding.
No.
You went to church.
I was raised in
Okay,
church.
cool.
I was
Raised in the church. What was the word?
Not that I didn't wow, but I was raised in church.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
just
So what was the word from your pastor in regards to purity and sex and marriage?
So the overarching thing in our church was don't have sex until you're married.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there wasn't really a lot of conversation about the implications of that particular sin. It was just don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's a sin against God. But there wasn't really conversation that really dug deep to really explain the why behind the what. And so it became one of those things where it was like, curiosity wins most times when you're talking to young people and you're telling them not to do something. Don't knock on that door. Don't talk to that girl. Don't talk to that guy. Don't do this and don't do that. And so without giving us a why, it just creates curiosity in the mind. And when curiosity is present, temptation can run rampant.
For me, growing up, of course, in the church, black church.
Black church.
There's a difference. There's a difference.
Facts.
And yes, it was, don't have sex.
Yeah.
Don't have sex. And then for me, it kind of turned into, okay, don't have sex until you get married. But then it kind of gradually went into, you get to do this when you're an adult.
Okay.
So never saying it,
Right.
but it showed because if we're in the church and we see people who are not married,
Right.
they're coming in with their girlfriends, people they live with,
Right.
kids are involved.
Right.
You didn't get married.
Right.
So for me, it was like, okay, well, they said that you can't have sex until you get married. So in that standpoint, it was, well, I guess it's a thing you do when you get older or when you feel that you are an adult.
Yeah, when you can make your own decisions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so then it went into, all right, well, it's just not possible. Nobody's just waiting. Again, we saw in the women's video, people are waiting.
People
Amen.
are waiting. Big facts.
And the thing was, it just is not common.
Yeah.
And so then somehow it just turned into, all right, I know you're going to do this, but just protect yourself.
Yeah.
Wear a condom.
Yeah.
Don't have no babies.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so then that whole piece of how did you know that people were having sex?
Yeah.
The evidence was a child most of the time. Yep. So then with that, it's like, well, you don't know what I'm doing behind closed doors anyway. And then you got people just making a decision to get married so they can. Yeah.
Church culture has made it very difficult to even have conversations. Well, not to have conversations about dating, but even to like approach, somebody. You know what I mean?
Go
It's
ahead.
like, growing up, it felt like the church was like this sacred place and like you should not approach any woman in church. This is not the place. This is not a hookup, is what they would say. But I'm like, if I want to engage in conversation with someone in the church that I know is getting fed the same word that I'm getting fed, and I know that there could potentially be, something between us. If I don't have a space where I know like, yo, it's cool for me to go and talk to her, or it's cool for me to be like, hey, you want to go sit down and have some coffee? I'd really like to get to know you. I really, I feel like there could be something between us. I feel like over the years, church has made that conversation very, very difficult and political. And I think that it feeds into more of I don't even know what to call it, bro. It feeds into just a culture of people who don't know how to have conversation with the opposite sex. And it's weird, and I don't like it.
So let's do this. Let's set some people free real quick.
Let's do it.
You can talk to a girl, fellas.
You can. You can.
You can.
Yeah. Respectfully.
Yes.
Respectfully.
Honoring.
Yeah.
Have the right heart.
Have the right intention. Huh?
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, but then when you start getting weird, and I get it, because in the world you can say, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? Peep the scenes, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of scope it out, you know, and it's okay to compliment.
And ask questions.
Yeah.
Do some recon.
Okay.
Do some recon.
Let's
like when I found my fiance, I did some recon first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You heard that, fiance? Eh?
Shout out both kid.
Let's go.
Right. So I went and asked some people that I thought may have known her, and just so happened
and
they knew who she was.
You did.
And they alley-ooped that thing, and now we on our way to the
Come
altar.
on.
You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
celebrate right there. That's a drink champ. That's a drink champ over here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. I think we got some water here. There you go. All right. Go ahead. What you got? Next question.
How much did your parents teach you about sex? Like, did they have the talk with you? And if they did or didn't, how did that affect you?
Okay. Well, Mom, we had this conversation already, and we just gonna throw it out there, okay? My parents did not have the talk with me. And it's crazy as I even think about it, like, well, how did I figure it out? Or how did I know what you shouldn't do, what you know, all of that. It came down to music, messages, you know, movies, and that kind of created what I knew.
Yeah.
But the thing was, like, my mom did everything she could with what she had. And then due to it, like, really thinking about it, man, it is hard. I mean, even now, but even back then, to tell a young person, like, you can't do that.
Right. All right.
Right. And so, again, they've already been exposed to it in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Whether it was porn or just images on, you know, movies or messages and music, whatever the case is. And like, man, you kind of get a little curious, like, what is that?
Yeah.
And so I believe a shift happened where parents, and again, the church never said this, but it was kind of just allowed to where, look, I know you're going to do this, but just protect yourself. And that was kind of the message for me is like, if you're going to do it, don't have no little kids running around here, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's crazy because now walking in purity, now you want some kids, and I ain't got my wife yet, Ma, so you got to calm down, okay?
Calm it down.
Calm down.
The whole protect yourself, right? When you're being told to protect yourself and the only thing that you're protecting yourself from is having children, how do you think that more information would have impacted you on a sexual level if it would have come across like, hey, protect yourself, because when you have sex with this woman, you're actually becoming one with her.
Yeah.
Protect yourself because when you have sex with this woman, you are actually spiritually entangling yourself with this person. And you may even start to behave and act different in a way that's opposite of your personality because you have now joined yourself and become one with this person. Like, becoming one is not when you say I do. Yeah. Becoming one is when you consummate that thing and you become sexual with this person. And you open up this box before it's time, and now you're having to figure out, how can I pull myself away from this person? But then what happens is you get a taste, and then it's like you start to see or wonder. The curiosity becomes that much greater because it's like, man, it felt this good with this person. I wonder how I feel with her and her and her and her. And then next thing you know, you got this body count, and you're trying to figure out why nobody told you that you needed to protect yourself in that way.
Yeah, bro. To think about it as, I never heard anything like that until I came to Victory. So soul ties and all of that, it's just, but the thing is, I believe that it was due to a lack of understanding and knowledge that I would say that some churches had. Yeah. And they they did what they could with what they had, what they could understand. Yep. But when, even now as a student ministries pastor, and I get to sit down and talk to my students in this way of like, man, this is why. Yeah. And going back to your first answer, it's the why. Yeah. We lacked as a church in giving the why. And again, that was the whole difference between religion and relationship. Yeah. Religion tells you to do, relationship tells you the why.
This conversation has really got me thinking back to like when my mom tried to have the sex talk with me. And I told her, nah, Mom, that's what we got TV for. And that was literally the thing that taught me and shaped my mind, not just from the standpoint of like sexuality, but even as a man in like dating relationships. Like for whatever reason, I was that kid that was always listening to like the most romantic song, watching the most romantic movie. And so in my mind, that shaped the way that I felt like I needed to be as a man in every relationship. Felt like I needed to be the romantic, the what you call it, the storybook fairy tale type of situation. It's like, bro, that's in the movies. Not to say that we can't be romantic and all that kind of stuff, but the way that I dated, the way that I saw myself, the way that I even thought relationships were supposed to go was all based on something I saw, even from a sexual perspective. Like, I saw it done before I actually was able to partake. And it's like, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, had no idea because nobody told me. And then when I think about my choice, when I was probably, 10? When my mom was like, let's have that talk. And I was like, nah, we good. I was like, dang, what if I would have let her have that conversation? And not even let, I was like, I'm 10. Make me have the conversation. Like, I don't have no choice.
I would have got a beating, bro. I don't know why she did that. I would have got smacked.
Bro, I was like, nah, we got TV.
And so the thing with that, you didn't have a model for it.
Facts.
So we long to see it the right way. It's in us. We just don't know it. And because you were searching, you found it in the wrong places.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, if it's not something already filled in you of truth, we're going to cling on to something and call it truth. And if we're already filled of it, then no other information outside can go in.
And if the first taste of it that we get is how it feels, then we're already trapped. You know
You're done.
You're done, son.
You're done, son.
You're done. It's a trap, bro.
That's good, bro.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Is there anything that you've learned that you needed to unlearn in regards to sexuality, relationships, all of that?
There's so many.
Unlearning
perfection in relationships.
Unlearning
that I have to be this perfect person in order to be accepted by someone. And like, if ever I drop the ball, like my fiance will tell you right now, if ever I drop the ball, like I'm so hard on myself. If I feel like I missed a beat, or if I feel like something I could have done that I didn't do, or I missed it, or whatever, it's like I'm super hard on myself. So I'm great with extending grace, but terrible with applying grace to my own self.
I want to say a little thing in that I believe that can definitely bless people. Because I'm the same way, very hard on myself. So the question comes up of, where did that come from? Why do you feel like you have to be hard on yourself? What are you trying to prove? Who's placed this standard on you? And I think in identifying that and getting to a root to say like, man, I don't have to put this pressure on myself. Because your Father in heaven didn't place this standard on you. And I think what happens is we all know, and how a lot of us move in relationship with the Lord, we believe it's about works. So we got to do to gain. And no, he just wants you to be. Because he didn't create you to do, he created you to be. Right? And honestly, he created us simply to love us. You know what I mean? And so for us to really get into that place where we want to move forward in wholeness, as believers, as disciples, we have to come to an understanding to know that there's some things that we've learned that we have to put away. That we have, again, we should be, we have to die to ourselves. And we've created self, like all the things of like what we want to do and how we want to do it. And now we come into Christ and say, oh, snap. So I don't have a will. Like I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I have to follow him if I'm a disciple, right? And so, man, there are so many things. Like, again, you talk about, you know, the songs and movies and stuff. Same here. You know, whenever we get into that place of how to do relationships, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it like somebody in a love song or a Disney show or movie or whatever the case is. And so, But coming into Christ, it was like, man, we hit a wall. I hit a wall in the sense of like, man, so you trying to tell me this whole entire time I've been doing this wrong?
Yeah.
But it was still grace for me in that. And so when it came down to, I thought it was cool to, get with girls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, society and culture says, man, count it up. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. That's going to make me cool. That's what's going to make me popular. That's going to make me be able for people to see me.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But then it's that whole thing of, for a while, it just didn't make sense of like, man, if I want to have sex, I'll just have sex. Like, again, nobody taught me the whole thing about coming together.
Yeah.
Nah, because when I'm gone, I'm gone.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true because you two are still attached in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
And man, we can go down the list. So we're both saying there was a lot for us to unlearn.
Absolutely.
And coming into Christ and just redefining relationships and sexuality as we move forward.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So knowing everything that you know right now, you've gained a lot of wisdom. You've learned a whole lot of things. I want you to go back through the history of all of your relationships, and I want you to tell me what you would do differently. I know the E that I'm looking at now, I didn't know you back then,
No, you didn't.
but I saw a picture of you back then. I mean, do you remember you showed me a picture of what I said to you?
Yeah.
You showed me a picture, and I was like, bro, that's not you. That's not you. Whatever you were into at that time in your life, there was just something on you that's not on you now. Like now there's like a light. I could see the Holy Spirit in you. But in that picture, I was like, bro was a fool back then. had to. I was like,
We don't agree. I was, bro.
I bet.
And being honest, I was very disgusted with myself. Like when I think through again this process in relationships and seeing women as objects, not a care in the world. You know what I'm saying? It was as long as I can be advanced, as long as my agenda is being pushed forward, I get to control how people get to see me.
Yeah.
That's just what it was. And so being in this season now, like going back, I would have been very careful of how I did relationships. Knowing that relationships are not all about sex.
Yeah.
And to that, it's this whole piece where I just even, like right now, I'm feeling the weight of like everything I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? But again, God's grace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't deserve to be where I am today due to that. But the same God who was sent here to die for us, die for me.
Yeah.
And my sin.
Yeah.
And man, practical stuff, minor stuff, I would listen.
Yeah.
A lot better. I would wait. I would literally wait, save myself and encourage them to save themselves as well.
Absolutely.
I would bring people into the relationship.
Something else I didn't know anything about until I came to Victory.
Right.
Yeah.
Accountability.
What is that? Why do you want to know what we're doing?
And
it's not your business.
Again, from coming from where we come from, you don't put people in your business.
Yes, sir.
Right? But it's like, no, I want everybody to know this.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, the right people. To know that, man, we need to place boundaries on this thing. We can't just be willy-nilly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And another piece of it is community, like really having people around us to encourage us, to, speak life into us.
See your blind spots.
Yeah, bro. And let me just say this: men are blind. I'm gonna just agree. It's a lot of things we cannot see. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, I know you kind of did a face
bro.
I really,
for real.
I
was agreeing with you. I was listen, we
so
blind.
I'm talking to the ladies right now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things we don't see.
Facts.
It's a lot of things we don't see. That's why we need accountability.
Yeah, come on.
Right?
Bars.
So with that, it's these pieces where with relationships, man, honestly, not stepping into a relationship until God releases you.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like relationship, I'm like, I'll say I wasn't in a lot of relationships. I'll just leave it there.
Situationships though.
Situationships, encounters.
Yeah, encounters.
But not wifed up.
Gotcha.
That was our language, wifed up. You wifed that?
Yeah.
So in that, it was like, man, I should have been in a place of working on wholeness.
Yeah.
But again, being young, nobody was thinking about that. Nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Nope.
But man, it's so many of those things. Like the key things would say, bringing accountability early into the relationship, creating boundaries, being able to listen to their boundaries, not just, I'm the man, so this is how we're going to do it. Yeah. I don't know what they may be dealing with or going through and how they would need to navigate a relationship. So you have to bring that stuff into it as well.
Absolutely.
And really have a group of people behind you to push you forward and to, again, have those eyes and all of that.
Yeah. One of the things for me, bro, like what I wouldn't do is make the woman that I'm in relationship with responsible for my emotional well-being. And I'll tell you, like, the way, like, there's like a picture in my mind that I would get from time to time when I thought about, like, in hindsight, after relationships were ended and just so many fires behind me, bro, like, the image that I saw was like, I'm wearing all these chains, right? They're hidden to everybody else. But in my words and in my responses, my actions towards some of the people that I was in relationship with, I was literally taking those chains from around my neck and putting it around their neck and saying, I want you to make me feel secure about this. I want you to make me feel secure. I want you to make me feel confident. I want you to boost my self-esteem. I want you to tell me that I'm okay right where I am. And I want you to, lift me up and all those things. And it was like, bro, you supposed to have that together for yourself. Yeah. Because when you make that somebody else's responsibility, you become a leech. Yeah. And you can't take and give at the same time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was taking, I was searching, I was digging, and I didn't realize until after the fact that I was really like putting emotional strain on the relationships because I was literally empty. I'm thinking that I'm pouring out in kindness and all that, but bro, I was like broken in so many different ways and thinking that the relationship is gonna make me better in those places. So I mean that's a pause right there. So like for the fellas, like bro, if you are emotionally broken, if you are, let's just keep it right there in that vein. If you are emotionally broken and you are thinking that the relationship that you're in is the thing that's gonna make you whole, you're fooling yourself. Yeah. Right? So I had to lay some things out before my fiance. I know I keep mentioning her.
Announce that. My boy got a fiance.
But
you
listen,
feel me?
She said something so pivotal to me that just made me respect her and love her all that much more. Like she said to me, like, I feel like you still have the stink of your last relationship still on you. Ooh. Right? And so she said, I'm not here to be the fixer. I'm along for the ride, but I can't fix it for you. And so that just made me look at her like, dang. Bruh.
Ladies, y'all better take that.
Bruh.
That's real.
It encouraged me and it let me know that like, she's not somebody who's about to like tuck tail and run because I have some hangups. We all have hangups. Yeah. We all have issues. I'm not saying you can't be in a relationship in your brokenness. What I'm saying is you can't lay your brokenness on the person that you're in a relationship with because then it becomes a strain to the relationship and it won't last anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that encouraged me to like, bro, find your healing, get before the Lord. Yeah. Get in that secret place and figure out what those things are and why there's still residue from what was so many years past. Yeah. Like, why is that still there? Yeah. Not for her to figure out, but she's locked aware with me. She's arm in arm with me while I'm working through it. And so that thing just made me look at her with a different set of eyes. Boy, I was like, listen.
Who would?
So yeah.
That's good, bro.
Yeah. Whew. Blessings like that come when you find the right person.
Come on. He's like, as I wait.
Yeah.
Okay, wait on the Lord.
But so even that.
You want to go there?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I want for you, bro, like I want you to be encouraged while you wait.
Yeah.
Right? Because there is somebody that is specific to you that like it's like God knows exactly what you need. God knows exactly what you're looking for. I know that there's a lot of people who have like made lists in the past. We even did that. We talked about that. Yeah. I didn't make a list until you sent me a list that you had. And like, even when I made my list was stupid. It was dumb. It was like, bro, why do you want that?
Yeah, it took
like,
a lot of drafts to get to the one
So it took
now.
a lot of drafts. And then it's like, I don't think God is so much concerned about your list.
Yeah.
I think that he just knows exactly what you need, and he knows exactly when you need that person. And I feel like singleness is a designated time to focus on purpose, to focus on like where you are. Not to say that you got to have it all figured out before she comes, because when she comes, like Pastor Mo was talking about this Sunday, this past Sunday for Mother's Day, he was talking about how God created the woman from the side of the man, and how the word Eve literally means to breathe life into. And so when you have your hopes and your dreams and your visions and all those things, she comes alongside you to breathe life into the things that God has been showing you. And then in turn, you also speak to hers and you help her. You're a force behind her of encouragement, of leadership and all those things to help steward her into whatever God is calling the both of you into. And so just in your season of singleness, to just don't forget that like God still has you in mind. And like just because she hadn't come yet doesn't mean that she's not there. You probably already crossed her path, but sometimes I believe that God has a way of like blinding you to a thing until it's ready. You know what I mean? And again, the weather ain't gotta be perfect. It ain't gotta be like a bird came and landed on her shoulder and you heard the voice of the Holy Spirit say, this is bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh. We look for those things. And I think that God does do those things supernaturally, miraculously. He shows those miracle signs and wonders. But sometimes, like what's my man's name? Ryan Dunlap told me, I asked him one day, I was like, how did you know that your wife was the one? And I was harping on that question for years. And he said, it's very simple. It doesn't have to be all of this, all of the theatrics and all of that. He said, would you die for her? Would you protect her? Do you love her more than you love yourself? It's like, if that's the case, you choose to make her the one. And that's how it goes. So for you, for all the fellas out there, like be encouraged in your singleness. Don't allow anyone or the culture that we're in right now to make you feel like you just gotta be with someone for the sake of being with someone. Like God knows exactly what you need. God is intentional. If God was intentional to make you, God is intentional to make a person that is suitable for you. Your helper is out there. So I would just say, get busy doing what he called you to do. And somewhere along that journey that you're on, you'll find the one.
That's good.
Yeah.
I receive it, sir.
Yes, sir. Receive it.
I receive it.
Yes, sir.
Receive it. Do you receive it?
Huh? Do you receive it?
Well, as we close, as you know, Pastor Jamal just gave that fine word. And that's what we want to leave for you. Especially this whole piece of knowing like, man, in your singleness, God is still working. God is still doing something. And I believe a lot of times for us as singles, we get into this place where we're trying to find the one, and we're trying to coordinate it with someone else's story. Well, is this the way or is that the way? And so for us, as you've heard our story, I would say, again, there is like, yes, this is the direction that we're taking and the approach that we're taking, but there's other ways as well. And it's not a one way to this. This is not the way, but it's a way. When it comes down to talking about your singleness and relationships and what we've could have done, or, you know, again, you may have not had our upbringing, but at the same time now that, you know, God has gotten you to a point to even see this video today, he's doing something in your heart. And so with that, for us to really get into this place to say, man, well, my story don't have to be like yours. Story don't have to be like mine. Like God has a unique story for you. And so what we have to do as men sometimes is hear the story, knowing that was an approach, but that don't actually have to be my approach.
Right.
And I believe, as men, we get to the point where we're trying to find ourselves in the story and thinking that that's going to be our narrative.
Yeah.
Because I heard it. Like God made a way to where I'm actually listening to this video right now, and this is the way that I'm going to find my fiance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she's going to say these things, and when she says those things, that's when I'm going to know she's the one.
Yeah.
That's not going to be your story. It may not be your story. Yeah. But the biggest thing is you have to follow the one who writes the story. And as you follow him, he'll put you in the path. He'll put people in the path to help you in that. Yeah.
It's just I like the way that you said that. If you're following the one who writes the story and you keep reading the story, eventually you'll get to the page where where she at.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And for the ladies, you'll get to the page where he's at.
Don't rush.
Don't rush. Just keep reading
Yeah.
the story. God is an excellent author, and his timing is impeccable, and he doesn't rush things. He takes things very, very slow.
Yeah.
Because the Holy Spirit is a gentleman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So God is not trying to rush you into anything. I think that for us, God likes for us to take the scenic route because there's so much for us to learn and for us to see. And it is beautiful. So imagine like gaining everything that God wants you to gain. And I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about patience. I'm talking about wisdom, knowledge, understanding. You know what I mean? I'm talking about long suffering.
Yeah.
All of the fruits of the Spirit. Like imagine having all of those things in your toolbox, and then you meet someone that now you can lavish that.
Yeah.
You're bringing somebody into a situation where your fruitfulness is now going to cause for them to be fruitful. And then when you come together, you're going to be fruitful and then multiply. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't take the fast route.
Yeah, man. Don't microwave that thing.
Don't microwave that thing, boy. Slow cook.
Put it in there.
Slow cook, pressure cook. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Well, Pastor E, this was a great conversation, bro. I mean, we talk anyway, you know what I mean? So we want to thank you guys for watching. And if you need resources, you can find them in the description below. Once again, thank you for watching. Y'all be blessed.
See y'all.
All right, so this is Corny Pickup Lines.
Dad joke edition.
Let's do it.
You ready?
Yeah. You can't laugh, though. You can't laugh. You can't laugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's dad joke. Okay, cool. I got you.
Cool.
I'm go.
Cool.
No, want me to go?
I'll go first.
You go? Okay.
Hey, girl. Did we go to school together? I could have sworn we had chemistry. That's so corny.
Okay. I got one. All right. Do you believe in love at first sight? Or should I just walk back through again? Would that work?
No.
That wouldn't work?
Not at all.
All right, what you got?
All right, so I believe in following my dreams. Can I have your Instagram?
What?
Follow, you gotta, I got
Okay. If you were a transformer,
oh God,
you would be Optimus Fine.
No.
All right.
Ladies, if you fall for that, get him out of there. If that's how you coming, he got to go.